So we are back, and change is hard. Change is hard. So what? So what? In my live earlier today, which was entitled, what was my live earlier today entitled? I'll have to check. But I believe it was something with transitioning in life, how to transition. And someone was in my live and they said, yeah, but it's hard. And my response was, so what? Yes, change is hard. So what? Life is hard. So what? Achieving a goal is hard. So what? Breakups are hard. So what? I don't care about the hard part. In fact, I revel and I'm best when the challenge is difficult. And there is a saying of easy come, easy go. There's no saying of easy come hard and easy hard go. You don't hear about it. And I labeled this live change is hard. So what? Because so what? That's the difference between us and them. I actually enjoy the hard part. I actually enjoy knowing that I accomplished something that was difficult. I accomplished something that I said, I don't know if I can. I accomplished something that challenged me in every way. That's inspiring. Often with dating, there's this element of the chase is always better than the catch. And maybe so. I love a good chase. I put on a great chase and I enjoy that. However, who cares if things are hard? I don't go for things that are easy. And that builds something within myself. So every time I hear this, well, it's hard. So what? Okay, yeah. I not only do I agree, I affirm and support you. Yes, it's hard. So what? Why continue on always with the reason why you can't? And I believe that it is in the same realm of when individuals just speak of the limitations that are for them. I don't care about the limitations. Why is that the first thing that comes to mind? In fact, that can be a push. The push to say, I did it. It changed me and I did it. It molded me and I did it. It inspired me and I did it. So what if it's hard and difficult? That's life. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. And for anyone who has not been in my life, I was a flight attendant for 15 years before entering into the realm of being a professional speaker. What's up, VA? What's up? What's up? And I had spoken about this on one of my lives, how a lot of the airlines are hiring, and I had encouraged one of the creators on the app to go apply. And their response brought an element of surprise. Here's why. There is a difference between just doing it because you know you can and doing it because you're surprised that you will accomplish it. And as I was sharing with this creator, I said, go for it. And they said, well, isn't there a lot of competition? And I thought, well, why is that the response? Because initially when I hear that is the response, what I hear is that competition is better than me. That response isn't said because I am the competition that the others need to watch out for. It is the response of, I may not be good enough. I may not be able to. And I probably are not worthy to. And why does that serve us? How does that serve us? How does that serve you to immediately think of all of the things that will stop you? Because, number one, it's just a thought. So that same thought could be, oh, hey, how you doing, Jerome? Yes, it is difficult, and watch me do it. Saying, isn't the competition steep? And yeah, and I will still accomplish it, are the same thing. It's still just the words. It's still just a thought. Nothing has been proven. But to immediately match whatever you are going towards with why you can't do it, really is allowing your insecurity to speak over the strength that is in you that will accomplish it. And why do we do that? Because we all have. We've said this out loud, and I actually believe that's the first barrier. Not even allowing those words of why you can't to leave your mouth. The next barrier is, I don't even need to think that thought, because we are aware thoughts turn into things. However, having the thought and saying it, if we are aware that the computer is based off of the human brain, which means the brain is always looking for information to support whatever you say, to back it up. I can't do this. Okay, it will find every reason why you can't. Well, you're tired this morning, and maybe I'll bring that memory when you were 6 and you didn't make the baseball team. And actually, remember that time your cousin said you could never play basketball? Everything in you will conspire to make that true. In the same thought, thank you for liking the live. Just saying, yes, I can do it, your brain will grab information to support why you can do it. But the thought of, well, that's too hard. So what? Let's make that normal. Yeah, it's hard. So what? I never want to brag about something that was so easy. Oh my gosh, this marathon was so easy. Well, it was, but still, that's a skill. That's a skill to be able to say, I have easily accomplished these things. Now, it might have been very difficult for you until you finished it and you were amazed at yourself. Wow, I did it. But to immediately say that's too hard for me. In my live earlier, it was a gentleman who was speaking of transitioning out of his career into a new career and how difficult it would be and how he wouldn't have the backing of his current company and how he didn't know and how. When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When you argue how hard it's going to be, well, you're reinforcing how difficult it will be for you. Why? Sometimes it's just programming. We're running on programming that we're unaware of. But This is why I'm sharing with you. Things are hard. So what? So what? It's difficult to change yourself. So what? It's difficult to get over a loss of a loved one, or the loss of a relationship, or the loss of a dream that you say, you know what, actually, it's just too difficult. Why give in to that? Why not be the success that says it was and I did it? It was difficult. Whoa, it changed me in so many ways, and I did it. What it taught me was. What I found out about myself was. And how that space is so powerful. It's so powerful. Often, doing something that seems unimaginable will lead you to do more things that seem unimaginable. However, ingesting that thought of, it's hard, so what? So what? I talk about my father often. And my parents are on my board of trustees. And I call them the board of trustees because a board of trustees are chosen individuals that you trust. Thank you for the rose. And my father would often say, my father would often say, most people in life are wimps. He was born in 1947. And what's up, Jamaica? I like to translate that into most people have difficulty accepting accountability. Accountability of when you gave up. It wasn't because of so-and-so. It was your choice. It was me. Accountability may mean you stole something from someone. Accountability means you go into the person and say, man, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. I stole this from you. And I just feel better telling you. Thank you. But to build yourself up to say, yes, I'll go for it. Yes, I'm doing it. Yes, I'm still doing it. Yes, when people don't believe in me, I'm going forward. Yes, when people say, I don't get it. Why did she leave that job to do that? I'm still going for it. Yes, to feel the discomfort. Yes, to allow yourself to grow into a new space. Yes, to allow yourself to be someone new that you've never met before. Simply saying yes is opening the door to the new journey. And yes, things are difficult. Yes, things are hard. And so what? Are you going to do it or not? Are you going to choose to maintain the continuance or not? That's it. And I share this with my niece and nephews because I am the cool auntie. And if I ask them a question and they say, no, I can't do it because X, Y, and Z, I say, you don't even have to say anything after no. The supporting evidence of why you choose not to do it does not change anything for the other person. Meaning, if you say, oh, well, yeah, I chose not to go for the baseball team because you know what? After school, it gets really hot and no one cares after you say no. No one cares. Actually, that doesn't soften the blow of the no. No is no. If you choose not to do it, just walk forward and saying, I'm not doing it. But if you choose to do it, the beauty of accomplishing something that is difficult, hard, unimaginable is what you will turn into in the process. And there's a beautiful quote from Gandhi. And this quote is as follows: "The goal is the journey." The goal is the journey. The journey isn't, the goal is the journey. It's what you have to turn into. It's what you learn. It's what you impress with yourself of the things that you pick up in life. That is the goal. And oftentimes, individuals are just speaking from their limitations. However, as I stated earlier, when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. And what does that mean? What does that mean to argue for your limitations? And furthermore, why would you argue for your limitations? How does that progress you in your life's journey? How does that increase your sense of self? How does that increase your sense of confidence within yourself? Thank you for liking the live. Much appreciated. Because as you are going, you start looking and saying, wow, I'm doing it. Whoa, this was difficult and I'm still doing it. Wow, I can do it. I am doing it. Whoa, I did it. I did it. And that changes everything. When I went to flight attendant training, because I was a flight attendant for 15 years, I remember saying, this is it for me. I'm not going back to my hometown. I'm doing whatever it will take to accomplish this. Therefore, there's certain whippersnappers I'm not hanging out with. Because the training center for most major airlines is similar to a college dorm experience. You live in something that's similar to a college dorm with 1 to 2 other people in your room, and you go to the classes to learn what you need to learn to successfully complete flight attendant training. And when I was hired, it was the first huge hiring spree after 9/11. So the website was flooded the first day. In fact, it shut down because there was X amount of applicants and the servers couldn't handle it. So here we are. There might have been maybe a couple hundred of us from all around the country and all around the world. More young, but there was also people where they wanted to become a flight attendant as their second career. And you have like a meat market of your picking, people to meet, people to create whatever you imagine with. And what I witnessed was the difference. I was there solely to complete flight attendant training and start my life and travel the world and come back with these stories and have wonderful stories of the men all over the world and the foods and the crafts and the languages and everything that I could learn to expand my mind. I did not go to flight attendant training to find a partner, a husband, nothing. Actually, I don't need to be friends with anyone because the friend of mine is the certificate of completion. So I often would go to the class, come back, go to sleep. I would rise early in the morning, and the training center was quite tall, so it had a staircase. And if we had to start at 7:30 or 8, I would get up at 5 and I would run the stairs because I needed to do something difficult and hard and strenuous to have me prepared for that day. So I believe there were 7 floors, and I would run them 10 times. Exhaust myself, go back to my room, shower, and get ready. I was not trying to make long-lasting friendships. I knew I could do that once I was on the line, once I was flying. I also witnessed how individuals saw this as like the college experience, so we can drink and hang out. I'm not doing that. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. This is difficult enough. It will be very difficult if I stay out all night and drink and then have to get up and be ready at 7 a.m. every morning. So there's a difference in our mindset already. And I saw the difference. I saw the individuals that just saw this as really playtime. And how people slowly fell off. And in the training center, it is stressful because you're always being watched. And the times will change. So one day, maybe class will start at 5 a.m. The next day, class will start at 11 because they want it to replicate the flying experience. Not every day of your flying career are all of your flights going to leave at the same time. So we had difference in times that we started every day. But that difference of looking at it and saying, I'm going to accomplish this. I'm not here for fun time. As people in my family would say, this ain't playtime. This is serious for me. This is life-changing for me. And I remember a roommate of mine was on a different schedule. So let's say she started at 7 a.m. and I started class at 9:30 a.m. And I remember she had set her alarm. And it went off and she didn't wake up. And it kept going off and she didn't wake up. And it kept going off and she didn't wake up. I went and turned the alarm off. You obviously aren't waking up. This ain't personal, but your butt hasn't gotten up for the past 30 minutes. You think I'm going to sit here in this room and continue to let your alarm go off? No, you got to sharpen yourself. Now, that was a conversation we had afterwards. I can thoroughly say she believed that I was in the wrong. And I will say, maybe I was. However, get your butt up. If the alarm's going off and you aren't getting up, the alarm ain't working. So I turned it off. You still woke up in time. However, the difference was I am here to accomplish this. I'm here to accomplish this. I'm cordial and respectful and I show love to everyone. Thank you for liking the live. However, this isn't playtime for me. This isn't time for me to go out and be in the streets and take shots. No, this is a life-changing event for me. This is a career that will change the trajectory of my life. Hey, this is what's meant for me. Therefore, I see it that way. I treat it that way. It's precious cargo for me. It's not going to work for me to be out all night. It's not going to work for me to put myself in situations that may not allow me to show up with the clearest mind every day. Now, the day that I completed training, that's a completely different subject. However, yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's stressful. So what? I'm going to do it, and I did it. And just that mindset of, yes, it's difficult. Yes, I don't know how this is going to continue. Well, let me change that. I do know how it's going to continue because I am going to be successful at it. And that also comes from successes that I was not successful at. Exactly. We are here to accomplish whatever we choose or what has been. Exactly. And if you're just joining this live, it's entitled Things Are Hard. So what? And it comes from, thank you for sharing and liking the live. This comes from the fact that earlier in my live, when I was talking about transitions in life, transitions in career, transitions in general, may be difficult. So what? I am not the one for you to tell me this is hard, and it is going to be hard. Ingest that. Sit with that. Brag about that. I did that. That was hard. That was difficult. I cried. I didn't even know how I was going to get through it. And I did it. That's the purpose. I refuse to lean on the thought of it's difficult and so I need to continue to vocalize this. As I said, when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. I'm not arguing for my limitations. I'm not telling you how terrible and how hard it is. I'm showing you how I did it. There's a difference. I'm showing you that I did do it. And the more that we do these things, the more we have competency in ourselves. In fact, the more that you do these hard things that seem unimaginable, thank you, the more you know I can do anything. I can do anything. Listen, I think most people would say that about me. Hope, oh, I don't know how she continuously keeps doing these things. It's because why not? I'm here to live and live life more abundantly. I'm not here to say, well, it was difficult, so I stopped. No. Why? In the story, in the chapter in my book, it's not going to say, and Hope decided it was too hard, so she stopped. Absolutely not. I love being a badass. I love it. I love it. I love the fact, thank you, I am 3 states, never complain because things are meant to challenge. That's a part of our growth. Exactly. And the beautiful thing about growth is it just adds to you. Growth adds to you. I've never heard someone say, I hate growth because it doesn't bring me anything. Has anyone heard that? Has anyone heard anyone say, oh my gosh, that growth just brought me back to 10 years ago? No. Growth shows you things about yourself. Growth adds layers to us. Growth inspires us for other changes because growth adds to the life story. Thank you for stopping by. So when things are hard, so what? You know what? I've gotten to a point where I am, as I said, I revel at being a badass. I will just walk away from a conversation. And when I first started flying, I would do this often. In the training center, when I heard people gossiping, that's not for me. I'm walking away. I don't even need to tell you that that's not right. I'm just removing myself. Thank you. I'm here to make it look easy. I love accomplishing these difficult tasks. And I spoke about running the marathon. I didn't even train for it. Here was my strategy. Just start jogging where it says start and then stop where it says finish. That's it. I had no training plan of I need to do X amount. Now, now wait, let me let me clarify, because I've always been a runner. So even 10 miles of running or jogging wasn't that difficult. However, this is for me to accomplish, and this adds to the fabric of me. I don't care if anyone comes to watch me run the marathon. In fact, I don't even care if anyone knows, because I know. I have the story. I built the endurance. I have that lasting impression of what I did. And I spoke about this in my earlier life. A lot of this is done within ourselves, by ourselves. Yes, growth is inevitable. And it's like a beautiful flower. Just start. OCP 9-8, just start. And start with power walking. Just start. Here's the tip. Just start. If you want to run, I always say start small. Say I'm going to jog for 10 minutes and do that 3 times a week and do that for 1 month, because you will impress yourself at number 1, your consistency, and that consistency will lead to more action. I often believe with any large feat, activity, running, a sport, individuals bite off too much. No, just breathe. I don't do any of that. I just breathe. Now for myself, I probably have a rhythm that I'm in, but I just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Start small. I wouldn't even say start with 1 mile. Start with 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes 3 times a week. That consistency shows you that you can do it. Because what I found is individuals will say, I'm going to do 3 miles every day. And then they stop by the second day. And then they feel bad. And then they say, you know what? And 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month goes by and they never pick it up. Start small. Breathing techniques, just breathe. I find you will find your own rhythm. You will find a rhythm for your breathing that's almost melodic, that will be suitable for you. I'm very basic in those terms. You can Google, however, just do it. Find what works for you. Because what works for me may not work for you, but I can tell you what will work, doing it consistently. In small increments, not miles at a time. I like to start in minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. 10 minutes of running when you haven't can be a feat. So doing 10 minutes of running 3 times a week will just show you, wow, I can do this. Oh, wow, this feels good. Wow, I've done it. Wow, I've done this 4 weeks in a row. Wow, now I'm going to increase it to 15 minutes. Do that for a month. Small increments. Because you're only running against yourself. Unless you're running against me. And I don't encourage anyone to do that. Because, yeah, exactly. It is that abundance of just small incremental consistency. When people try to keep up with me, I encourage them, you can try. But I'm sort of a lunatic. I see myself as like this tank. And I had a friend visit me, and I love being outside. I live in Hawaii, and I purposely chose Hawaii because I love being outside. I love hiking. I love being in nature. I love trail running. I just love being outside. And I grew up in Central California. And my father loved the outdoors. He loved to fish. He loved to hike. He loved to show us the outdoors because it was something he loved. So we would fish often in the freshwater streams and lakes, Yosemite, the Sierra Nevada mountains. And so I have been used to jumping off of rocks and climbing and hiking. Well, a friend of mine, and this is an advisory tale, sometimes likes to be somewhat competitive. And that may not work when it's me, because I am a beast, and I was challenging myself, instead of being on the hiking trail, to use the rocks and the boulders that are in the freshwater stream to get back to the starting point, which is what I would do as a child. Me and my sisters, I have 4 sisters and I was raised with 3. We would just jump from the rocks and maneuver and allow ourselves to start a new challenge within the family to not use the trail and just jump from rock to rock. So I've been doing this for years. She hasn't. So I'm jumping like a bullfrog from rock to rock. Yes, being aware, and because I've been doing this over 30 years, it's second nature to me. It wasn't to her. Her butt fell off the rock and busted her. I said, slow down. You got too much dip on your chip. This is where people get a little, you got to slow down. Sometimes you got to slow down. That's why your butt fell off the rock. You fell into the water. Now you're limping back, and now you slowing us down. You got to take it in incremental steps, especially when you're with me, because I've already slowed down because I'm here with you. You don't want to battle with me. I can guarantee you that. Now your butt got to limp back to the car. It's a cautionary tale. However, once you slip, you realize that it's just one slip, it's one fall. It doesn't mean anything. And endurance is incremental. Being aware of your surroundings, yeah. And sometimes that becomes second nature. And this isn't just within nature, this is wherever you are. I'm aware of the room. You can tap into energies. You can understand how people perceive you. Or you can reverse it and say, I know that I'm perceived as the greatness that I am. I'm never going to doubt myself in any surrounding. I step in with full intention that I am the abundance that I see for myself. And that changes everything. You show up differently. You stand up stronger. You stand up taller. You enunciate. Your presence is felt. And my father taught me that. He taught me how to give a firm handshake. I'll gosh darn crush your hand when you shake my hand. I need you to know I'm here. I need you to know I am here. And that comes from the confidence of constantly putting myself in these situations. However, so what? Things are hard. So what? I'm never going to argue for my limitations. Ever. And I am sharing this because it's something that I just hear. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you for sharing the live. We are so much more than we give ourselves credit for. As I was talking about flight attendant training, which was about 2 months, I shared with you thank you. It's actually a jumpsuit. I love a jumpsuit. It's one and done. Thank you. I love patterns. It's bold. It embodies the message that I'm delivering now. So I appreciate that Nick likes chickens. I shared with you during flight attendant training, I would get up about 2-3 hours prior to my report time, and I would run these stairs like 7 to 10 times. Really difficult, just to prepare myself for that day. And I kind of kept to myself because the point was for me to be successful in flight attendant training. The point was for me to complete this. The point wasn't to come to make friends. The point wasn't to come to find a romantic interest. The point wasn't to come to find drinking partners. The point wasn't to find partners that I could go out to the club with. The point for me in this moment is to complete flight attendant training successfully to expand my life, which I did. However, there's always a story because I have a lot of stories. So, the day of our final exams, I had passed everything. I was like, wow, I'm officially a flight attendant. I did it. You did it. Oh, we did it. I did it. I did it. Now it's time to go out. So, one of my best friends, who's still one of my best friends now, she said, Hope, let's go out. I said, okay, great. And I talk to everyone. I love to talk. I love just to engage and hear people's stories. So in the flight attendant training center, as I said before, it's like a college. So there was a dining hall with a full cafeteria and a salad bar. I mean, it looked like a full dining hall. It was. And I would speak to one of the lunch ladies. And this was in Chicago. And one of the lunch ladies, she was just nice. She would say, Hope, you did it. You completed it. I said, I sure did, girl. Let's go out. She said, okay. Well, she said, Hope, I'll pick you up. I'll take you over to my house. I said, all right. She said, thank you. Well, sure. Yes. I received that. Thank you. And good to see you again. I love that I'm seeing you again. I'm glad that you find some enjoyment from these words. It's good to see you again. So she picked me up. And again, she was the lunch lady at the flight attendant training center. I'd seen her every day for 8 weeks. She might have been in her mid-40s. She lived on the south side of Chicago. And so she picked me up. I'm going to say she had like a Cutlass, like a Buick Cutlass. And she took me over to her house, which happened to be her parents' house. There's layers to this story. So the lunch lady from the flight attendant training center took me over to her home, which was actually her parents' home. She lived with her parents on the south side of Chicago and her 4 kids. Are you following me? So I entered the home and it reminded me of my parents. Her parents were very gracious and offered me food and a drink and asked me about myself, and they were warm and gracious and caring. I loved it. However, I started to recognize some things where I said, okay, this is going to be quite an interesting night. Because yes, she lives with her parents and her 4 kids. Her parents are saying, where are you going? You got 4 kids at the house. She's saying, I'm going out with her. How you doing? And I'm saying, I just showed up. Like I finished flight attendant training and your daughter said she was going to take me out. So I'm here. And so she changes. We get in her car and we go to the most nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago. And I had not drank the whole time during flight attendant training because I was determined to complete training. So now that I've completed it, it's time to let loose. And I have banana bread in the oven, so just bear with me. I do not want my banana bread to burn. Let me take my banana bread out. Okay, Banana bread is out of the oven, which I'm so excited about. And actually, look on my page. I have the recipe for this banana bread that I made. But I made a cinnamon sugar crumble topping. I'm so excited. This is why I'm always full of this life, because I live a great life. I wanted some banana bread and I made me some. So, I'm in the car with the lunch lady in her Cutlass. And one of my good friends is with me, another girlfriend of mine. It's us three. We go to a nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago with a bunch of old heads. I mean, it really was like the local bar on the south side of Chicago. But I didn't care because it was the fact that I had passed flight attendant training. I was so excited. I walked into the bar and I said, I did it! I passed flight attendant training. What's up? What's up? What's up? People are like, oh, okay, all right. They start raising their drinks to me. Everyone was excited. I bring this energy everywhere. So I go up to the bar. I said, give me a shot. Someone said, no, I'm buying you a shot. Hey, what's your name? I said, my name is Hope. This girl's name is Hope, and she passed flight attendant training. I'm buying her a shot. I was like, yes, he is. And he sent me a shot, and I drank it. First shot down. Now, I am quite petite. However, I like to believe I can hold my alcohol. I really can't, but I try. So, first shot down in this nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago with the lunch lady, myself, and my good friend. Within a few moments, someone else who was at the bar said, I'm going to send you a shot. And they sent me something nasty. I don't know what it was. I was like 22 at the time. I was just taking all these gross shots because I passed flight attendant training. Well, after about 4 or 5 shots, and at the time I'm 5'8", might have been really slim, 120, 125. Let's say 5'8", 120, 125 pounds. 6 shots of hard liquor on my small frame will hit me pretty quickly, which it did. But I didn't care because I had completed flight attendant training. So, as you see, I'm a little bit off, especially because I was so excited. So people are sending me shots and I was very safe. I'm taking these shots, but then all these shots hit me. And I went onto the dance floor with this old school disco light, and all I knew was like the floor was moving like the ocean. And so I just hit the flow. And I was like, whoa, wow, everything's moving. I have the spins. I'm excited because I passed flight attendant training, but what the heck, what am I feeling right now? I'm beyond drunk. So my friend comes and says, Hope, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm just really like, I took all those shots, man. Like, I'm really drunk. Like, I can't even, everything is moving. She's like, all right, okay, hold on. Let me find the lunch lady. So my friend goes to find the lunch lady, who's like doing the electric slide on the dance floor in this nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago. No joke. I'm not even making this up. It was hilarious. And stepping, because in Chicago, stepping is a big thing. So she's doing her little step, boop, boop, boop. My friend goes over to her and taps her on the shoulders. She turns. What's up, girl? My friend says, Hope is really drunk. She's over there on the ground. The lunch lady says, that's okay. Leave her there. She'll be okay. And she went back to doing her little 2-step. So my friend was like, What? We can't just leave Hope on the floor in the bar, in this nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago. Lunch lady is too busy doing her little two-step. She has her little brown liquor in her hand. She's getting down. She ain't worried about me. I'm on the ground wondering why I'm on this ocean of a club, and this is all happening in real time. So, for some reason, again, I say, you know what? I need some fresh air. So I peel myself up off the dance floor in this nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago, and I walk and I push open the door to the bar to go outside because I needed some air. Because remember, I did not go out or do anything really social for the full 8 weeks because I was determined to pass flight attendant training. So, come to this day, I've had all these shots. I get up, I push open the door, and I walk out just to get fresh air. I don't even know the area. I don't even know where I'm at. I couldn't even tell you where I was at. All I know is I was on the south side of Chicago, and I needed some fresh air. So I started to walk towards the park bench or the bus bench. And I might have had a few other shots because by this time, this bus stop bench appeared to be a great place to lay down, like to go to sleep. Which is what I tried to do on this park bench, bus stop bench on the south side of Chicago at probably 1 a.m. I laid on the bus stop bench to get some fresh air. Sounds like a great idea. Thought it was a great idea for me at the time. It wasn't. And there was a nice gentleman who said, oh, baby, you can't, no, baby, you can't lay down on the bench like that. No, you can't lay down there. I'm thinking, but why? It's just like any other bench. Why can't I lay on this bus stop bench on the south side of Chicago at like 1:30 in the morning? Why not? Makes perfect sense to me. Apparently it wasn't the best idea. So this gentleman said, no, baby, you can't be here. No, get up. So I start to stand up and he could tell, oh, she's inebriated. Okay. But very kind older gentleman said, he said, well, where'd you come from? I said, I was in that nondescript bar right there. He said, oh, okay, let me walk you back. So as he's walking me back to this bar, he was like, you're so beautiful. You can't be laying on the park bench. At that exact time, all of the shots rush up my esophagus, out of my body, and I begin to vomit rapidly. And unfortunately, vomited all over this nice gentleman who's helping me back to the bar. He's like, oh, no, baby, no. It was hilarious at the time. However, I'm sharing this story because, as I said, I had waited the full 8 weeks not to go out. Now I go out, and this is the story that happens. So, this gentleman has helped. Thank you for liking the live and this story. I guarantee you all of this is fact. It's true. I throw up on this kind gentleman who's helping me back to this nondescript bar on the south side of Chicago, all over his leg. And he's like, oh, baby, no. At this point, sorry, dude. Thank you for, it's actually a jumpsuit from Farm Rio. Thank you. So he is feeling however you would feel if a young, beautiful girl would vomit on you. However, he was not upset, and he still kindly walked me back to the bar, where my friend was like, where'd you go, Hope? I was like, I went outside to get some fresh air, and then I laid on a bench, and then this guy told me I can't lay there, but as I got up to walk back, I threw up all over him, and he walked me back to the bar. She was like, "Are you for real?" I'm like, "Yeah, what? Yeah, I think it's time for us to go." So this whole time, the lunch lady is still doing her little two-step on the dance floor, not worried about anyone. In fact, I don't even remember. I don't think she was the one that drove us back to the training center. I believe we caught a cab. However, this friend showed me the diligence of a true friend, and here's why. At the training center, the flight attendant training center, we had to sign a contract where you could not be drunk on training center ground, nor could you pretend. So even if you stumbled around to pretend like you were drunk, that was immediate letting go. If you're drunk or if you're pretending to be drunk, there was the option of you just being let go. And what I learned about true friendship in that moment was, instead of her taking me to the training center, she went and she got a hotel room for me. She paid for the hotel room. She made sure I got in the bed. She set my phone as an alarm. She set the alarm next to the bed for me. And she set a wake-up call. 3, to ensure I was back in time. That impressed me. And to this day, we are still great friends because the integrity of that person. Yeah, I was drunk as a skunk. Beyond that, using her own money, ensuring that I had 3 wake-up calls. My phone, the alarm next to the bed, and a wake-up call. And I was only about 12 minutes from the training center, but she ensured that that call was about 3 hours prior to the time I had to report back. So even in all of that madness, I saw what true friendship is. I saw what true respect for another person is. I saw what true support is. That's someone that I will keep within my friend circle for the rest of my life. She is. Now, she can annoy me at times. She can. However, as I tell her, that is what it is. I see your heart. I see your integrity. I see how you ensured that not only was I safe, that you set up all the safeguards to ensure that I would get back and continue this dream of being the flight attendant. And we continued being friends, and we actually moved to London together, and she, no, I didn't need that long. It was just in case. That was the forethought into it. I didn't need that much time. I was a 12, 15-minute transit journey from the hotel back to the training center. But if one alarm didn't work and the next alarm didn't work, she allowed that extra time to be padded in just in case. And I never forgot that. And I never forgot the support that she showed me, that she did not need to. We had just started our friendship during that 2 months. And we are now great friends. I've been at her wedding, and as I said, we lived together in London, and she actually comes to visit me in Hawaii like once a month because she still flies. That's beautiful element of integrity and friendship and kindness stood out, even though I was drunk off of whatever dark liquor I had ingested after throwing up on that random gentleman, which was also trying to help me. This support comes. And I had spoken about this in my live earlier today. When we start doing these hard things, or we go towards something, or we go towards a dream, or we start a new journey, support comes. Support comes. Yes, that's true compassion. Even the person that said you can't lay down on the bus stop, the police will come and lock you up. I didn't know that. I mean, I wasn't even in my correct mind at that point. However, all of these elements of support came. When something is for you, it's for you. Nothing can take you away from that. What is destined for you will be for you. Support will come out of nowhere. Help, protection, clarity. Sometimes just the ease of getting there. It happens. That's why I say, if it's hard, so what? I don't care about that. I'm never going to argue for my limitations. And in fact, the moment that you say, well, it's really hard, why are you telling me that? What's up? There's my other positive partner. How you doing? All I care is about the end goal. You will never hear me say it's too hard. So what? That's what I do. That's the difference between me and them. You'll never hear me talk about how hard it is. In fact, often you won't even know the other things that are going on in my life. The deaths that are going on. I'm doing superb. I am highly favored, hydrated, happy, and getting better in the moment. That's how I'm doing. That's right. When the universe is with you, nothing can stop you. Even the things that conspire to stop you actually sometimes work out in your favor. They work out in your favor. So what if things are hard? So what? What are you going to do about it? Just do it. Do it. Impress yourself. Impress the people that are secretly watching you. Impress those cousins or kids or friends or family members or colleagues that are secretly saying, I don't know how they do it, but they did. And because they did it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That was over 18 years ago now. Because I decided to say yes. And even now when I look back, I had the same hairstylist when I was a child in my hometown. And I remember telling the hairdresser, you know what, I'm going to become a flight attendant. And then within like a month, I was telling her, okay, I'm leaving for flight attendant training. And she always reminds me, there's something about you, Hope, because you just say like, I'm going to do this, and then you do it. What else am I going to do? Tell you I'm going to do it and then just sit here and dream about it? No, it's time to make it happen. Because when I make it happen, I may encourage somebody else to make it happen. And I think about it that way. I know I'm a leader. I tell myself I'm destined for this. I'm destined to speak these words. I'm not destined to say it was going to be too hard. So I said, not for me. No, that ain't for me. I'll create my own path. No is just a redirection. And you can ask my parents, they would know. Because every time they told me no, I'd say, okay, watch me. And I would just do it anyway. So as a child, it may not have been one of my best traits. However, it served me well in life. And I remember speaking to my mom, because when I think of starting building a foundation and starting a family. What do I want to implement into my kids? Of course, I'm teaching my kids to love themselves. However, I'm teaching them to be resilient. I want to teach them about resilience. And I spoke to my mother and I said, is that something you thought about? She said, yeah. Exactly. There are no bad days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are no bad days. I can change that. I say it was a character building experience. I never say it was a bad day. No, it was a character building day. It built my character. And I remember my mom saying, yeah, we wanted to teach you girls resilience because life is going to tell you no. So what? So what? Just because you tell me no doesn't mean I can't accomplish it. It just means I'll find a different route. In fact, no is a catalyst for me to continue. Go ahead and tell me no. Go ahead. Tell me what I can't do. You could try, but I've proven it to myself way too many times to listen to you. And I say this often, the Kanye quote, why would I listen to you? I've rediscovered myself so many times. Yes, it's a thought. Yes, self-empowered. I'm empowered. Yes, exactly. Yes. Thank you, Corey, and I am 3 States. Thank you. Beautiful words. Thank you. And I know the power that lives within all of us. Yeah, I could tell you about it, but you can tell me about it too. You have these stories too. The reason why you're here enjoying this is because it resonates with you. You've done it yourself. Sometimes we get knocked back. That's okay. That's not to stop. Yeah, and you can always tap into it. You can always tap into it. Sometimes, as I said, it's so small incremental changes towards. However, it's within us all. We all come from this same aligned consciousness. We all are made in its image, however you label that. Wherever you place a higher power or a God or spirituality, or maybe that thing is just yourself. It's within us all. Stand empowered. Speak empowered to yourself. Of course you have. Of course you have, Ro. You didn't get to this moment in this day without accomplishing something. You have. Maybe you need to maybe it's time to reflect and see how you've done it, because you have. You don't just get through life on like a skateboard and you skate. No, you've had to endure some things. It may not be drunk, laid out on a bus stop on the south side of Chicago, but you've done it in your own way. We all have. I'm just a reminder of the greatness that's within us all. That's why I come on and speak. Because it's within us all. It's within us all. Sometimes we forget. And I don't even think we forget. At times we just need to be reminded of the greatness that's always lying within. And remind yourself of the greatness that you are. Whether it's recovering from a relationship, whether it's recovering from a job loss, whether it's repositioning yourself, whether it's buying a house, whether it's leaving a house, whether all of that, we've done it. We've all done it in some way. If it's recovery from an illness, if it's recovery from a person that we lost in our life, if it's a recovery from losing who we are, we've done it. And I'm just here to remind you, you can do it again. Is it hard? Maybe. So what? I don't care. That's for you to say that it's hard, not for me. I revel in these hard things. I'm a badass. I admit it. I'm a badass at this point. Yeah. I just do these things and I make it look easy. Sometimes a tear will be shed. So what? I've done it. That's the point. Exactly. And we all have done it. I'm able to illustrate it in a different way, but we've all done it. So, if it's hard, do it hard. Or change the wording. This is something that I'm learning, and I'm ready to learn it, no matter how it comes. When I decided to speak professionally, I knew, okay, I have to start new. I am no longer the flight attendant. This is new. Okay, I need to surround myself with other speakers. I have to find, what is my voice? What am I speaking about? Who am I speaking to? Why do I even want to speak? And I said, I loved to fly, but what would I do for free that I love to do? Encourage, speak, share stories, teach communication, build a component for active storytelling. Yes, tap into my calling. Period. I'm going to do this regardless. And I'm going to do it to the highest pinnacle that I know that is within me. And there's something for us all. There's enough for us all. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Nice to see you again. There's something for us all. Sometimes we just don't want to listen to it. Yeah, thank you. I speak about my father all the time. Thank you. I love my daddy and my mom, both of them. But I learned a lot of speaking from him. And I'll speak about this more tomorrow. When I decided to become a speaker, I said, okay, I need to surround myself with speakers. How am I going to do that? Am I going back to school? Am I taking a... No, you know what? I'm going to be resourceful. Because my father would always say, whatever you do, if you do it consistently daily, you will become proficient at it. Thank you. So if you love to draw, if you draw 4 hours every day within 1 month, you're amateur. Within 6 months, you are advanced. Within a year, you are professional. If you draw every day for 4 hours a day for 1 year, you're far beyond anyone who's doing it in college, just because you've made the dedication to do it every day. So I said, okay, this was during COVID. I want to be around other speakers. I want to be around other professional speakers. I want to sharpen my skill of speaking. And I had been a part of Toastmasters before. I don't know if anyone's aware of the Toastmasters organization. And I said, you know, this is during 2020 when everything is shut down. I'm here in California. Thank you. I miss accents. Because as a flight attendant, I would be in Germany one day, in Japan the next day, in France one day, in Brazil the next day, in China. I love accents. I truly love conversation. I can hear the cadence in different languages. I can hear a melodic tone. How I speak English here is different than how I speak English in England. How I speak when I speak in French is a completely different cadence. How I speak if I'm speaking Portuguese, it's all very different. However, I craved that. So I said, you know what? Toastmasters is online now because it's 2020. My dad said if I do something every day, I will become proficient. And Toastmasters has a lot of professional speakers. Yes, it's rhythmic. It's melodic. There's a cadence. There is a musicality. Thank you. So I said, all right, I've taken some time off. It's time to get back into it. All county. Well, I've been to a lot, not all. I will get to every country, but I'm about a quarter, a third of the way there. So I told myself, okay, for the next year, I will speak every day for 5 hours. So I found Toastmasters groups online in the countries that I loved. I lived in London. Anyone who's been in my lives knows that I lived in London for about 7 years. So I joined a Toastmasters in London. Again, I'm in Hawaii. I joined a Toastmasters in Germany. I joined a Toastmasters in France. I joined a Toastmasters here in Hawaii. I joined a Toastmasters in Switzerland. I joined these Toastmasters all over the world in 1 hour increments. So I would get up probably like 4 or 5 a.m. Hawaii time, and I would go to my Toastmasters group in Kuwait for 1 hour, and I get to hear those accents and practice. Right after that 1 hour, then I have my Toastmasters in London, 1 hour. Then I have my Toastmasters in Paris, 1 hour. Then I have my Toastmasters, let me find a group here in the US, 1 hour. Then I did that for 1 year, 5 hours every day. 5 hours of speaking. Yes, you remember that. I'll have to share that story again. And he is, both of my parents are. Thank you. Because I'm a product of them. However, the goal was what my dad says, do it daily for a sustained amount of time. That's like a part-time job. 5 hours every day. And now I'm hearing other speakers. And now I'm being critiqued. And now I'm learning my speaking voice. And now I'm learning my keynote. And now oh wow, and now I'm connecting with speakers all over the world. And now other speakers want to hear me speak. And now I did that. I found a way. I'm not going to sit here and say, man, I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. No, I'm making it happen. I will make it happen. Do you know how powerful that is to construct that? That's a sense. This is why I show up so empowered. Well, I am not perfect. Let me say that. Thank you, Tony, and I receive that. However, no, perfection is boring. And I'm definitely not perfect. And I revel in my non-perfection. However, I will say I'm unstoppable. I will find a way to do this. That's how I started. That's how I started. I was getting up early because Hawaii time was perfect. I'm at this random place in the world where I could catch the Toastmasters groups all over the world. And almost like a part-time job or a college, I did that every day. Speaking every day. Learning every day. Until I said, okay, I've almost topped out. Now what's next? Now I have to continue to sharpen. Now I have to go out and share this and book these events and continue to just spread the word. Now what else I can do? Oh yeah, I can teach how to communicate, because that's what I learned on the plane, communicating with all these different cultures and people and genders, and whoa, I actually have some skills I didn't know about. Okay. Maybe I can build a storytelling platform. Oh, okay. It just starts to open up. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to be creative. I don't need anyone to teach me how to talk. I know how to talk. However, there are methods, but it's me. All of these things that I'm sharing is truly my story. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Spiritware. And thank you, Tony Flynn. The point is to... This comes back to my father. I said, Dad, because my dad's 76. And I have all of these thoughts about like my parents, because now we're in a different realm. I'm older, they're older. I'm understanding them as human beings outside of the guardians that they are. Thank you. I received that, Tony. Thank you. And I said, Dad, what was your legacy for us? What was your legacy for your children when you got married and now in this day? And he said, Hope, it's always been the same. My legacy is for my children to find exactly what they want to do in the way they want to do it and how they want to do it. And when they find that, I know that I have fulfilled my legacy. So, whoa. Whoa. Dad, all of this time when I thought, I want my dad to do this, and maybe my dad wants me to go into his business. No, I want you to find exactly what you want to do in the way that you want to do it. That is my legacy for my children. I'm living it. That brings a fulfillment to me. I never have to wonder, even though my sisters say, nah, he lying, he done. Girl, you see, this will get me off my little speech. I asked Dad, did you ask Dad? But that's a whole nother conversation. However, find it for you. Find it for you. If I can be a beacon of light in some way when you see me on here every day, I'm working towards that goal. I'm working towards that dream. And it feels good. Feels great. I'm rediscovering another part of myself. I'm rediscovering my voice. I'm meeting these people that share with me these beautiful quotes while I'm speaking. And I actually write these things down. And I always say you attract your tribe. I found my tribe. I usually have my hopefuls shirt on. I found my hopefuls. We're here. We're positive. We like smiling. We like eating good food. We like striving for something more. We like saying, that's not who I am anymore. I'm doing something different now. Thank you, Tony. And that's why I show up. That's why I show up. This is why I'm on here twice a day. I actually haven't posted in like a week. Thank you, Tony. However, I show up. This is practice. However, I also enjoy the engagement. I enjoy who I meet. I enjoy seeing Tony and some of the same people that come and say, I'm so excited when you come on. I'm here to hear the word. You know what? I told somebody, do you know how that fulfills me? I am so fulfilled. I have found something that is for me. I don't care how hard it is. Find what's for you. It is your duty to find what's for you. It is your honor to find what's for you. It is your respect to find what's for you. It is for everyone that came before you to find what's for you. I don't care if it takes you 80 years to find it. Everyone who came before you so you could find what's for you. Whether you consider them an ancestor, an angel, however you label it. Honor yourself and honor them by finding what's for you, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of how hard it is, regardless of how uncomfortable it is, regardless of what others will say. Most people are idiots. Most people stay in their discomfort because the discomfort is easier than the comfort of finding what's for them. Yeah, I love my parents, and I'm quite comfortable not living with them, but thank you, Tony. Um, no, I go and see them for extended amounts of time. However, living with my parents again is not a trajectory that I seek to expand on. However, thank you. Yeah, our purpose. I am not a Pisces. I am not. However, I respect all signs, and there was a very nice Pisces that I think highly of, someone in my life, or who had been in my life. Um, so if it's hard, do it hard. Show up. Show up. I don't care if it's hard. It's for you. And what's for you isn't hard. It just takes some maneuvering. So what? I don't want what's easy. And I remember people saying when I was flying, why would you leave flying? It's easy and you... So what? I'm not you. I don't revel in what's easy. I don't revel in what's easy. I'm a fire sign. The only thing that's easy for me, well, my life is easy because I'm just going to continue to follow this thing, this heart, this intuition, that is easy. So I don't even think of the hard part. It's just I do what I got to do because I love it. I show up. If you see me, I'm going to have a smile and a great word, regardless of what's going on in my life. Yeah. I said this earlier. I show up. When I get up every morning, I'm excited. I look at myself, I say, "Hope, I love you, girl. Come on, what we wearing today?" I talk to myself like my best friend. What we wearing? I don't care if anyone sees me today. I see me. I go make me some tea, make me a pancake or some oatmeal. I just made me some delicious banana bread with the cinnamon crumble, which is delicious. I'm so excited. After this live, I'm going to have a nice slice and record some things that you guys will hear very soon. Yeah, that negativity, man, get it away. Get it away from me. I am one of those. Get it away. Now, that's not saying that if you're going through something, I have a space for that. I can sit and listen. I wouldn't say, no, don't think that way. Sometimes things happen. I'm respectful enough to say, don't think that, always think positive. Well, sometimes when things happen, it's okay to be in a space. I understand that too. I've learned that. However, I'm showing up. If it's hard, do it hard. Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you, I am 3 States. Yes, numbers do help guide me. And numbers are just, to me, a remnant. It's a reminder that I'm on the right track. Birds, sometimes just little things of confirmation. So numbers help. Sometimes songs, I'll hear a certain song. Tapping into myself. I do meditate. I spend a lot of time in silence and a lot of time in nature, because for me to show up this way, I have to clear a lot of stuff. I have to be clear to deliver. So nature is a big element for me. Thank you. Yeah, I have to recharge. I ground a lot. I have a TikTok video where I actually go and I take a walk in a park and I take off my Birkenstocks and I just ground. I walk through the grass with my bare feet. I know I'm being led, and I sink into that. And this is confirmation. So how you said numbers are confirmation, this is confirmation. When I deliver these messages, it's all just inspired. And I'm a extemporaneous speaker. I will write ideas. However, I've learned to craft a speech or learned to craft words around an idea. So I do a lot of writing just to get things out. However, like a speech in itself, I hardly just write it. I know what the goal is and I know kind of points, but this is intuitive. Clarity. Yeah. I have to stay clear. Clarity for me is what I put in my body. I speak about cooking. I love to cook. I'm a forager. Like I will go and say, oh my gosh, look at the avocados on the tree, and pull over and pick them. And I like foraging for my own food and making my own food. And I made butter the other day. I make my bread. I dehydrate citrus and all sorts of things. So I'm big into just using my hands and my voice to create. And yeah, going with the flow, and that's my artistic side. I've learned to see that that's an element that's pivotal for me to create. Yeah. I shared, and Hawaii. And, it may change. I'm big with changing my locations. Usually every 4 to 5 years, I change locations. And I remember saying when I was younger, I wanted to do that. Go somewhere and see what I need to learn from that space. And I've always dreamt big. And people say, well, where do you want to live? Everywhere. I've always seen myself with homes everywhere. My chateau in the south of France, and then maybe my home in California by my parents, and then maybe a place in Senegal. I used to go to Dakar every year for my birthday when I lived in London. I really see the world as the neighborhood. And I gain so much. I gain so much from a different place, and the sounds and the smells and the people and the food and the customs and what I have to learn. So all of that helps guide me. Thank you for asking that. Writing is clarity for me. I do that every morning and usually right before I go to sleep. I will journal about this. Yeah. Every 5 years. Yeah. And 5 is a pivotal number. It's a nice round number. Yeah, it kind of is in my blood. However, thank you, Tony. I just seek to continue to grow. I love being in new environments. I love it. I love everything about what I have to learn. Yeah, I'm a vintage. I'm like a vintage, well-sourced gypsy. That's the best way I could craft it. However, I bring others along. I have to say, with being a flight attendant, I've been on every plane. I've flown on a lot of carriers, and I've gone to a lot of places. And when I stepped away, I said, you know what's great? Now it's building something to see the sunset with everyone. I can see the sunset on the Amalfi Coast or in Senegal, but what's better is if my parents are with me, and if my sisters are with me, and if my nieces are with me, and we can all see it, because that picture I take of the sunset in Dakar is not the same as when we all get to see it together. That's the next dream. The dream is for all of us to see it. The dream is like, I traveled with my parents. Now you guys are comfortable. Come on. We chartered a yacht for the whole family. The whole family. We all are together. Now, you all go to your own rooms, because sometimes I don't want to see y'all. I love my family. However, I love them even more when we individually have doors. I grew up in a big family. I have a family of 6. So I do love everyone, and I love them from afar. I'm okay with that. However, I do seek to do this with all of them. and then you go to your room. Get away. We had dinner. Now go away. I sure will. I sure will. I dream about having like a family estate. Yes, it is. Absolutely. A family estate where I say, okay, we've had dinner. Now take the golf cart and go to your house. Your house is over there. We don't have to sleep in the same roof under the same roof anymore. Matter of fact, I don't get on the golf cart and go to your house. Okay. I love you, but go away. I'll see you in the morning. And that's the honest truth. I do love them, but sometimes, space is great. So, do it hard. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I will continue to show up. Thank you for saying that, Tony. You always have great words of encouragement. Your journey is for you, and you know journey is waiting for you to say yes. And the moment you say yes, it starts. And you're worthy of completing it, and you will. So with that, I'm going to enjoy this delicious banana bread. I am on here twice a day. I'm going to post all of these lives on my YouTube channel, which is the same handle, Hope is Speaking, and as well as my Patreon, Hope is Speaking. However, come, join, get the word you need. Every day it'll be something different. I'm just, thank you. I'm inspired, and these words just come from whatever happened in this day. I'll say, oh, that's the message. And I go from there. And as things continue to build, I will share with you all of the beautiful developments that are coming with me speaking, especially within some other forums and some events that are coming up. However, yes, I will. I'll repost it because I have posted this banana bread recipe. And I'll be posting again. I took like a week off. I usually post about 3 times a day, but with this eclipse and I just needed like rest. So, I will, and I post a lot about my cooking. It's further down, but I will just start. You're welcome. You're welcome, bro. Ever since you came in, I always love seeing you pop up. Yeah, maybe you will. I'm here, there, and everywhere. Come the summer, there's some events that will be going on, and I will actually be speaking in person at quite a few events. So stay tuned for that, and thank you, because this is my dream, and you're a part of it. So be the reflection of love that you are, because we come from pure love. Maui is great. Maui is great. I love Maui. I can leave Maui. However, I love Maui. Continue searching for what's for you. And remember these words. Doesn't matter if it's hard. Do what's for you. Do what's for you, and make it look good. That's the other thing. Make it look good. If you gotta do it, don't just show up, in a holy t-shirt. We need the finest of threads. Okay, whenever you see me, I'm in the finest of threads. I show up every day. I will say that. Eat you some good food, and make it look good. Feel good. You made it today. Make it look good. And I will continue to show up. So thank you all. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for liking the live. And thank you for showing up for me. I will see you again tomorrow. I don't have a time. I'm very intuitive. I'm being led. So you can, I think, alert a notification if you follow me, and it will alert you that I've gone live. So I will see you again, and just know you've added to my destiny in all ways. Hope is speaking, and now Hope is going to eat some banana bread. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, and good everything. Bye-bye. Thank you, Tony.